Big Willie here, Amazing Fishing, Bait and Tackle. We're here, we're going to talk about some aqueduct fishing. A lot of people are getting out there, some people are not catching fish, and there's a lot of different techniques that you can use. You can still do the weight at the bottom, hook at the top, like this setup right here, and do your fishing. I usually use a 4 ounce to 6 ounce weight, number 3 to number 6 size hook. And one thing I do like is the hook with the barbs on the back of it, because this way you can hold a lot more chicken liver and worms without using the crazy thread or mesh. We do sell that also. I like to use it without anything at all. So this is one of the methods that I like using, and when I'm still fishing and I'll work the aqueduct, a lot of catfish, striper, and the striper will pretty much hit everything that the catfish is hitting, so you got to gamble. And the catfish will even hit the swim baits. When we're out there, we're throwing big swim baits, big 6-inch glow head. We make the custom feather tips on them. And there's 2 or 3 different colors we like. All white for the shad. There is a sculpin in there, freshwater sculpin, so we like the brown. And then there's a smelt in there. And it's a freshwater smelt, and it's kind of clear looking, so we like these robo worms right here that are kind of clear. We also will throw umbrella rigs. If you haven't set one up, this is the umbrella rig. You can put 3 hooks on it and you can catch multiple fish at one time. The zoom baits work really well on the stripers. Anywhere there's a gate 4-6 inches with 1.5 to 2 ounce size lead head, and bouncing them up and down right in that white water, continuously throwing it in there, bouncing it up and down until you feel one pick it up. We like to fish it in the early morning times. I like to get there around 3:30 in the morning and fish till about 8 or 9. Also from like 6 to 10 or 11 is really good. Something that we really like to use is our XXX blood fish attractant, and we'll use this with any type of bait lure. You can inject it, you can impregnate your plastics with it. What it will do will pulsate, pump out a 25-foot oil slick. You may be able to see probably 4 colors, but there'll be 9 colors that are popping at that fish, and every 2 seconds it has a strike reactor forcing that fish to bite. And that's some of the things you want to set up for your bait when you get ready. Now if you're using XXX and you're just using worms, we'll use a worm injector, and we'll put 5 or 6 worms on the hook, and we'll blow them up with the XXX just so they leak just like a bloodworm. When we're doing cut bait, we'll go ahead and marinate it, something like the chicken liver. We actually make it here, it's custom. You can see there's a lot of things added to our chicken liver to make these fish move or come to where you're at. It has the XXX blood in it, plus a bunch of our other secret formulas. And it has an agent in it called Gumar. Gumar is what they use in bubblegum, and it makes things sticky. So we perfected a method to make the chicken liver a little bit more sticky, but work in the same fashion. I'll show you some of the rods that I use. We have a great time, and if you haven't picked up mussels, the fresh mussels, they're in the aqueduct. And a couple more weeks, when the aqueduct gets to about 73, you'll see the mussels floating. They'll start to bake. This is the time to start getting out, guys, with the mussels, chicken liver. When we're out there, we're comboing our baits. So we probably have chicken liver, mussel, and worms on all at once. So if we're drifting, we may just be using 10-pound tests, a very small number 1 worm hook, and maybe a small bead just to keep the flow. And we're going to fill this up with chicken liver, and then we're going to throw it across the aqueduct and give our light rod about 100 feet of line, and we're just going to let the line pull out, and then click it over when you're halfway done, and then start slowly walking with the bait. If you feel any movement or tug, immediately open up your reel, let the line go out. If it starts racing, close it down quickly. That is a fish, that is a bite. You go ahead and hook up on them. If it's anything else, it could be a rock or a snag. Watch the snags, because sometimes it's a current break and the fish is behind the rock. And once your bait comes around there, you'll immediately get picked up. Now a lot of guys are out there and they're really looking for striper. When I'm out there looking for them, I suggest you throwing the 8-foot, 9-foot rods with a 25 to 20 pound test. I like the 6-to-1 action reels because I'm looking for something fast. Sometimes, like I say, I'm just fly lining, and the stripers will pick up the fly line, anchovy, the shad, or the chicken liver. Now, if I want to throw one of my bigger baits, I'm going to use this same pole, but I'm going to use one of the bigger baits on a 2-ounce head, 6-inch plastic, and I'm going to bounce this off the bottom or run it really hard. The stripers are very aggressive. They can't sleep. They really want to eat, and they eat 3 times their weight in a day. So these things are really something that you can target them with. When I'm really keying on them, I'm going to hit any gates or anywhere where they have the grates in the aqueduct and they're pumping water off to the farmland. Before I get the grate 10 or 20 feet, when I see it, I'm going to start making casts and walking up to it really slowly. And I like to be there right in the morning. And this is one way to productively get striper. We will map these areas out, and we won't hit them long. We're probably making 20-30 casts. The more casts you make in the splashing kind of draws the other striper because they think they're busting up fish that are maybe coming out the grate. So if you guys get out there, the white works really good. Brown works really good, especially in the nighttime. And then anytime, the white blue works really good. It looks just like the freshwater smelt. And these will help you get on some of the bigger fish that are in the aqueduct. Now, sometimes we will do a worm rig, and some people always want to see our worm rigs. We can make the worm 3 times its size, and the main thing we're going to do is use this same blue worm hook, and we're going to use this little tiny tag in on there, and that's going to be like a splinter into the worm's body. I'll take one out and I'll show you really quick how we do this. And this is going to be effective on all kind of fish, especially largemouth bass. Now, this is the head of the worm, the darker end. That'll pinch him, and we'll stick the hook right in, and we're going to work him up the curve. Now, people probably know this is called Texas rigging. We're going to come right out, but we want this splinter inside the worm so he'll get longer and try to get off this hook. So we just slide him right up on there, and it'll really make him go crazy. He'll start wiggling and trying to get off this hook. So now we'll take the hook, invert it like this, and we'll stick it back into the worm. So even a tiny fish could suck him up. But now the worm is going to pulsate and jump and try to get off of this hook. But the main thing is that he gets longer and longer, and this right here will attract bass, crappie, a multitude of fish. Now, once we have this here, we will dip it in our XXX blood fish attractant, and then we'll toss it out. And guys, if you guys are doing this, this will help you. You can go onto our Facebook, our YouTube pages, or you can give Big Willie a call on our 24-hour bait hotline, 661-429-5228, and we will see you on the lake.